Well, hey everyone, I'm Michael, this is Lynn, and we're a part of the college team here at Blackhawk Church.
That's right, and we are so glad that you're here. We hope that you enjoy this online experience that we have for you.
Yo, it's me here with the reality check, mate with the BS, not worried about your reflex. So quick, grab a Kleenex, next switch your lies, cause I don't even want the them, the they, the you know who, the who you say you pretend you say you are. I don't even want to hear the lies. You see, because Netflix on repeat hour after hour, our lack of what we say we think we are. And you see, you forgot that there was a man that died for all mankind, Jesus Christ. Bend on your knees and hear what I'm about to say, because let's take a journey, and I want you to see what I see when I worship thee. You see, we arrived at the shore, hopped out like, what's poppin'? But don't mind me, because I'm for real, not just gonna be watching. You see, I was with the crew and we got separated. Hopefully we get captivated, activated, motivated, and they see what I see as we walk through the fields and worship thee, and I know what I came here for. So we in the fields just walking through the fields of grass. All I see are these little lights glowing with a small little hum. So I look closer and all I see is the beat going to the song of how great is our God. And I look upon and see the grass, and the grass is just flowing in and out to the sound of a violin, and the leaves of clapping to the beat, and the rhythm keeps moving. You see, in the trees are flowing back and forth and swaying as if hands praising in the air, just happy to be there. And all I could sit there and wonder is why the rocks are turning and turning and turning, and the waves are rippling and rippling, and the next song I hear is, holy, holy, holy. And all of a sudden you just see the grass fold and bow in adoration, and the trees bow in reverence to the God, and the mountains and the pyramids, they just crash and they melt to fill the earth, and the buildings bend and everything around kisses the earth. You see, because they're worshiping a God. You know, do you see what I see? Because like the lights were fireflies, and all of a sudden we just form this huge ball of light. And in unison we say, we've been crucified with Christ, and it's no longer us who lives, but Christ who lives in us. And because of his sacrifice of giving his life, we know him. And because we know him, we know the Father, Abba, Father, Yahweh, Elohim, Adonai, the great I am. The great I am. Because you see, he gifted us with the gift of life. He gave the ultimate sacrifice by laying down his life so that we would know him. You see, because we often forget that worship is in everything that we do. That it's not just on a Sunday or on a weeknight. We often forget that the created things are not to be worshiped. That you see, our Savior, he loved us and gave his life. And therefore, everything we do, the way we eat, drink, speak, listen, dance, move, act, kiss, love, all of that is supposed to be done as an act of worship. You see, because I'm cool, yo. I'm good. Because I'll take the L out of the world and become a loser for the word. I don't want to get to the gates and be a loser there. You see, because when I worship God, and I don't want to be caught up in the creation. Because when we worship, it's supposed to be in everything that we do, everything, the way we eat, drink, the way that we speak, the way that we listen, the way that we dance, the way that we kiss, act, and love. In everything we do, it should be worship. So I want you to see what I see, so that the next time that you worship, you don't think it's just a pit stop on a Sunday or a casual gas up in the weekdays, but that you see what I see when you worship thee, and understand that it's in everything that you do. It's in everything that you say, you feel, you think. You are an act of worship. And just like Jesus, who gave up his life, you're to walk with him and do the same. And I pray that next time you see what I see, I pray that you see what I see, and that you worship God so that it's never the same.
And I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. And man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together. And every desire is now satisfied here in your love. No, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, 'cause nothing is better than you. Yes, I know it's true. Now I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Girl, you see them all, and you still call me friend. Yes, you do. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley, and there's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. No, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, 'cause nothing is better than you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You turn mourning to dance. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, 'cause nothing is better there's nothing better than you. There's nothing, 'cause nothing is better than you. And I know it's true, nothing's better than you.
Well, hey Cam, Michael here. I can't believe that today, this week, is the last Cam of 2020. Man, I feel like it's just kind of flown by. And I can't wait for us to meet when spring semester begins late January. But today, I just wanted to take some time and to look at a passage found in the Old Testament in the book of Psalms. So if you have a smartphone, tablet, Bible, I want to encourage you to open it up right now and go to Psalm 50, verses 14 through 15, or you can just continue to look at the screen because it'll be below. So Psalm 50, 14 through 15 says, "Sacrifice thank offerings to God. Fulfill your vows to the Most High, and call on me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you will honor me." Well, as most all of us know, next week is Thanksgiving. And I just want to name that 2020 has been hard. 2020 is the year that after this year, when different hardships happen, we're going to say, well, that reminds me of 2020, or man, 2020 strikes again. 2020 is now just known for the year of unexpected hardships. But when we couple that with Thanksgiving, it can kind of be difficult because we can really try to think, okay, so in the midst of all this hardship, how can I actually find something to be thankful for? I mean, right now when you're viewing this, that's kind of after this very, very divisive political environment. I mean, our nation has been more divided under this political season than most any of us have ever experienced. I mean, 2020, we've seen racial injustices just rise, and not to mention this global pandemic that has not only been just ripping through this world, but our nation and even Wisconsin. I mean, man, these are hard times. But in the middle of all that, I just think it's so interesting that Psalm 50 verses 14 starts with saying sacrifice. To sacrifice, thank offering. And when I think about the word sacrifice, it makes me think that, man, I got to dig down deep and find something and actually then present it, to give it to God. And that's what we're being invited to do, that in the middle of all the hardship going on, how can we still find some things to be thankful and to offer it, to present them to God. Now, Thanksgiving is just a really interesting holiday, and I really think it's interesting how the holiday has kind of developed. So, a little history lesson. In 1621, the Plymouth Colony, they celebrated the first Thanksgiving with Native Americans when they ate this autumn harvest feast. They got together, they ate it, and then years after that, different colonies would get the autumn harvest, and then they would eat and they would celebrate and they'd be thankful for this harvest. Well, Thanksgiving, even though it was celebrated for years and years and years after the first one, didn't become a holiday until 1863, in the middle of the Civil War. I mean, during the Civil War, the nation was not only divided, but they were literally killing each other. There was just so much hardship and darkness. And it was in the middle of that President Lincoln said, okay, we are going to declare in the middle of all this hardship a national holiday where we are going to come to the table and to give thanks. I know that it looks like there's a lot of things that would say this isn't the season to give thanks, but we actually need to come to the table, eat together, and give thanks. And I think that is so interesting, not only because we're giving thanks in a season where giving thanks is difficult, but it actually relates a lot to the context of Psalm 50. You see, in Psalm 50, the Israelites, they were known to sacrifice to Yahweh. Whether it was animal, grain, fruits, vegetable, they would find different things and then give an offering to Yahweh. Either they would say put it on the altar, or they would burn it and say, Yahweh, I'm going to give to you. And you see, the Israelites weren't the only ones that practiced sacrificing and offering. Most neighboring religions did the same thing. You see, different religions would sacrifice livestock, fruits, grain, vegetables to their god or gods. But there was a difference between the why from neighboring religions and the why from the Israelites. You see, most every other religion, they believed that the god or gods created humanity so that they would grow crops and then sacrifice the crops and livestock so that the gods can feed and live. But not with Yahweh. You see, Yahweh said, I don't need your sacrifice. What I want is a relationship with you. And now the Old Testament has some different types of sacrifices given, but the one in Psalm 50 is a thank offering. And the difference between a thank offering was that it was one where you didn't just put something on the altar, you didn't just put something on the table and leave, but you actually were invited to sit and to eat with God. It was all about the relationship. And the invitation in that was that you had to give thanks. That in the middle of hardships, that in the middle of everything going wrong, what is it that you can be thankful for? To look through and to identify where God's actually at work. And to say, God, I'm thankful for that. Because there's power when we shift our perspective from looking at the things that we can worry about to looking at the things that we can be thankful about. What are you thankful for? What are things when you push past the hardships that you can identify that, man, God is actually still with me, that God actually loves me? I know it can be hard to see, but it's there. I mean, most people here probably are going to be able to eat their next meal. Most people listening to this, you probably have shelter. And everyone listening to this, whether you know it or not, you're loved by God. So to shift our perspective, especially around this season, to being thankful. What's interesting is that Forbes magazine actually did a ton of research and found a handful of things, a handful of benefits that we can get when we choose to be thankful. Benefits like it can improve our physical health. It can improve our psychological health. Choosing to be thankful can enhance our empathy and reduce our aggression. It can help you sleep better. It can improve your self-esteem. And finally, it can open the door to more relationships. And the reality is, God has opened a door. He set a table, and He wants a relationship with you. Now, I know that things are hard. I know that you're facing things that people have really never faced before. But the invitation is to, in the middle of all those hardships, in the middle of all that darkness, to find at least one thing that you can approach the table of God and choose to be thankful for. So as a community, as we approach Thanksgiving, let's do that together.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us today.
We hope to see you next time.